Welcome to a very special episode of Noob Heavy Radio. Today I get to talk to none other than Horse the Band. Living at the top from the motherfucking bottom. That's their motto, and that's how I roll too at Noob Heavy Radio. I think the last show got like 5 listeners, but I still have better guests than your show. What's up, man? What's going on? Anyway, naturally, because these guys are my idols, Nathan and Dave from Horse the Band, the vocalist and the guitarist, there's a bit of awkwardness. I lose track of my questions. I might even end the interview abruptly. I might even forgot to ask a bunch of questions. That's just how it goes when you're talking to somebody that you didn't think you'd ever get an email back from, let alone have on your show. This is it. This is the peak of Noob Heavy. Everything else I do after this is just like, yeah, that's cool, but talk to Horse the Band. I'd like to give a shout out to Steve from Aeon's Abyss, who also writes on the website noobheavy.com. Thank you heaps to him for editing this show, because I would have no doubt butchered it and it wouldn't have been anywhere near as special as hopefully it is. I'm pretty sure Nathan trolled me at one point, which I should have seen coming, and I probably accidentally trolled him as well. But he mentions Horse the Band selling vitamins. I don't know how true that is. I can't really find anything about that. I'll have to get my fact checkers on that one. I think it's more of a running promotion that they do of niacin, the vitamin. And it's supposed to be pretty good for you. It increases blood flow. Apparently pretty good for getting weed out of your system before a piss test. Shit like that. If you aren't familiar with Horse the Band, you're in for a treat. If you are familiar with Horse the Band, you're also in for a treat. This is a very unique and rare interview. At least as far as my show goes, being amateur as shit. The music at the beginning of the show was the last, 35 seconds of Lord Gold, Wand of Unyielding from Desperate Living. That's a great song. I'm also going to play 2 or 3 other songs. There's going to be one in the middle of the interview, so don't go away once that comes on. There's going to be one at the end of the interview, and right now I'm going to introduce the song, Horse the Song, which will go straight into the interview with Nathan and Dave from Horse the Band. Thanks for listening.
What does enough? David.
Hey, Nathan. I haven't spoken with you in so many years.
It's been ages.
We're capturing this tender moment.
The reunion. Well, thanks heaps for doing this call. I'm fucking stoked to get into this. When was the last time you guys did an interview?
Didn't you did something a couple years ago, right, Nathan?
It was whenever we were last on the road.
You mean over that on that Christmas time 2 or 3 day tour? You did an interview?
Yeah.
Awesome. I had no idea.
I don't even know what it was for. It's out there in the universe somewhere.
Yeah, we didn't have to talk about, so we mostly just kept to ourselves.
Fair enough. Well, let's get into the show proper then, shall we?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Some of these questions are pretty off the wall. I got bored trying to think of questions. So we might get on to some pretty strange topics. But first off, let's talk about the new EP, Your Fault, out November 27th. On Facebook, you described it as reflecting on how suffering is increased by the knowledge that it's our own fault. I love this concept. Is this one a more positive than Desperate Living or less negative?
This one's taking responsibility for the desperation that has been lived.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you ask. It's, we went through a lot of emotions over the 5 years of finishing recording these songs. So like some of those times were positive, some were negative. I feel like Nathan, you were kind of like, for a minute there, you wanted to be in a more positive direction, if I recall.
It's true, but I couldn't find it within me to say those words.
So do you see responsibility as like a kind of antidote to failure?
There is no antidote. Failure is in and of itself a failure of all things.
Yeah, failure is definitely a running concept throughout the work.
You don't really come back from it. You can just say you did.
Yeah. Kind of like sometimes I think back on one of Eric's famous scenes from the Earth Tour DVD where he talks about accomplishment.
Yeah.
For a few minutes. I think about that a lot when we start to think about responsibility for both successes and failures. But yeah, I don't know. I think I mean you'll notice from the cover art. You've seen the cover art, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's
on
kind of
Facebook.
Like the guy's sort of like trying to blame someone else, but then the finger just kind of like wraps around and points at himself.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of the Earth Tour, if any listeners don't know, Horse the Band did an insane documentary quite a while ago now, where you toured like 74 countries? 72 or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was no, wait. It was 70. It was about 72 shows in 84 days, covering approximately 40 or 50 countries.
Yeah, that's insane. I haven't seen any documentary or anything like it. 10 hours long. Highly recommend it. Are you still in debt from it, Dave?
Me? No. I have a very successful career as a software developer now, so
great.
Those meager debts no longer concern me. But no, we didn't. We basically paid off that debt by like signing another merch deal, but then like we got sued by a record label, so we had to like use the money to pay off our record label. We sort of kept paying off our debts by like signing new deals and then getting sued, and then paying off that by signing another deal, and then now we actually I mean, hopefully this doesn't screw us, but we actually owe a significant amount of money to one of these people that was left holding the bag. But I think they don't even realize it yet because it's such a poorly run business. So we're hoping that sort of just stays in the graveyard and no one ever remembers.
Well, it's good to throw it in an interview then.
I could edit it out if you want.
Well, I didn't say who. I didn't say who. So
You're gonna make a lot of people insecure. Is it me?
it's not you.
I
don't
feel
know
like I'm holding a bag.
Definitely that I know of.
Oh, I did have a question about merch actually. What is your favorite and least favorite merch you've ever put out? And you can include concepts.
Oh shit!
Nice. And
Is that the favorite or the least favorite?
my most favorite.
What one was that?
That's
Nice.
maybe-
And Horse the Band brand vitamins.
Oh man, I didn't even know that existed.
We sold out. It was amazing.
Did
You
you
don't hear about it because everybody who took it died.
Sounds like something you could advertise on like the Alex Jones show or something.
What's the least favorite merch we did? There's definitely a lot of like really ugly
Awful
t-shirts.
shirts. Yeah, so many awful
But
shirts.
the uglier they are, they tend to sell better. So it's hard to regret them too much.
Yeah, I think the fans kind of get that, get the irony aspect of all of it, and enjoy that. But like, have you ever had an idea for? Well, obviously you've already put out the vitamins, so I can't think of any idea you would have that would be like highly questionable at any point in comparison.
I wanted to make action figures, but it never happened.
That would be good. Get a Lord Gold figurine.
Yeah.
On the last tour, what were we gonna do? We were gonna like charge people for the right to sit in a trash can on stage while we play.
Oh, yeah.
That's more like
It's gonna be
experience-based merchandising.
Can seating.
Yeah, I'd do that. Fuck it.
Although whoever paid for it also has to wear the garbage costume, though, just to be clear.
It's like that. They had a gig recently where everyone was in a bubble, but instead of that, it's like everyone in a trash can.
That's not a horrible idea. Like,
Yeah.
there's only so many cans available.
Yeah, we got it's BYO.
No, you got to pre-reserve them.
Yeah. Well, back to this EP. So it's 3 songs. Correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
we failed.
What are the name of those 3 songs? Have they been announced?
Yeah, I think. Oh, I think you can find them one way or another, so no need to keep them a secret. Track 1 is called "A Reason to Live." Track 2 is called "No Gimbus." Track 3 is called "March of the Pigs."
Nice. March of the Pigs. This is how is it going to be? A horse fan's going to go into this EP and get pretty much the horse experience, or is there going to be like quite a departure in the music?
I feel like there's been a shift.
Yeah, I say. No, yeah, I don't think no one's gonna be shocked or super pissed off, but I feel like you can definitely be like, oh yeah, they sound a little different now.
Yeah, well, you guys have always had that kind of progression, like from the 10 years of like going from Ball Axe to Desperate Living and everything in between. That you can always feel the shifts between each release, and I've always appreciated that. You know, in an industry where bands tend to be comfortable releasing pretty much the same album.
Well, you know, one interesting thing on this one is, I just thought of this. It's our first album for which we have the same drummer and bass player as our, actually not even bass player. It's our first album for which we have the same drummer as our previous album.
Oh yeah, I was gonna actually ask about the lineup. Like, what is it?
And this version of the band has been playing together consistently now for 10 years.
Actually, realistically, that's going to be what you hear. The difference is that the rhythm section is so tight and so heavy. It stands out to all the other releases because the three of them are so in sync.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
In the past, it was always like in between each album, we're like, oh yeah, we got to find a new drummer first, and then teach them all our songs, and then like quickly try to just like record an album with them before we kick them out of the band again.
Mechanical Hand of Pizza, we had the same drummer, but it was kind of like having a new one.
Yeah. He kind of like got worse in between the two. And also it's like, if you even want to count pizza as a fool. I mean, it counts. Yeah, it counts.
Pizza's great.
Yeah.
That Where Pizza is like a really great, just Halloween-y kind of dark song. On like such a, like to follow up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something dark like that, I just love that. And you guys have been pretty collab and remix friendly. Will we see any bonus material in the future from this EP like that? Like maybe some remixes or...
Oh shit. If anyone wants to do a remix, I'll send them some files. we don't have anything in the works right now.
Well, there you go, folks. If you're listening, go remix it.
But it's, I don't know how... do people care about that anymore? There's so many remixes floating around. Like that whole scene has evolved so much since the last time. It's like, I feel like no one's gonna give a shit if we come out with a few remixes.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would give a shit. Yes.
The Desperate Living Bands tracks are great. I really enjoyed going through those. Like, I only recently discovered them as well. I didn't realize there was all those remixes, so that was fun to get into after years of listening to the band.
But it's also like people are just like way better at making remixes now than they were then. Like, we were like using the cutting edge technology to do our best, but it's like,
you could say that about all music, David.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could say that music in general has gotten better at the same pace that like remixing has gotten better. But
I like some old electronic music, even if it sounds retrograde or just shitty in general. It doesn't offend me.
Or maybe it's more like the Desperate Living remixes were like at the very beginning, like the democratization of software tools. So just everyone with a laptop was like trying it out for the first time. So the quality was sort of like all over the place. And maybe like by now, like the cream has sort of risen to the top of the people who are actually good at this shit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think more people may be focusing on making original music digitally now compared to then, when they're sort of more experimenting.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's got like a digital project that they put a lot of effort into now. I got in my interview research, there aren't many interviews on YouTube, but I found some. I came across some absurd comments on videos. I just want to share some highlights that I found and get your thoughts. I've left out the ones where people compare Nathan or Eric to various celebrities or fictional characters, because I'm sure you've heard those plenty of times over.
Appreciate that.
No worries. No Code Guitar 6 months ago said, "Here in May 2020 for Horse the Bee to bring a vaccine around. Are you guys working on a vaccine?"
See, they understand we have a higher value than the average band.
Yeah. Is that related to the vitamins, do you think? Did they think that was the vaccine?
I could see where we may have had the inception of that thought with them through that. I've been a big advocate of niacintology for years. Harry
Manback on the Shapeshift music video 6 years ago said, "Opening bit is more black metal than Death Heaven ever thought about being."
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. I personally really like Death Heaven.
I've never heard of them.
Where do you guys stand on black metal?
It has its right to be itself.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I think like Jeremiah like really's got a bone to pick with Death Heaven for some reason. He just like kept talking about it like every day on this one tour about like how much he hated them. I like them. They're good. I saw them. I've seen them once or twice. It was
Nice.
enjoyable.
Yeah, I really enjoy that stuff. I think a lot of people just have opposition to the new blending of post metal and black metal, like the hipsterization of it, essentially.
Right. But it's like the hipsterization feels so. I guess I don't understand the history of how like that band just got like latched onto by what you might call the hipster crowd. Like why did it even get onto their radar? Did they just come from that scene? I have no idea because I haven't read their Wikipedia page or anything. But I just always thought it was funny that it's just like it was on their tongues for some reason that like they're talking about Death Heaven.
Yeah, I think they just don't act and dress like all the other black metal guys. I think they just they just look like musicians first and foremost. And to a lot of people that equals hipster for some reason. Captain Gormley 2 years ago said, "It's like more extreme Faith No More." That's a comparison I've never heard.
Really?
That's an interesting one.
That's I mean, to be honest, that's what popped into my head when I sort of first conceived of the type of music we would play.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in the variety aspect of the sound and like the short attention span of some of the tracks where it like jumps around and changes a lot.
Yeah, me is like when we used to try to do a lot of different stuff that was all really bad musically. and then one day Eric used to play the guitar a little bit sometimes, and we'd have two guitars. But then one day at the Guitar Center, we started playing on that MS-2000, Eric's trademark keyboard, and then Nathan bought one for him. Then when I heard those sounds coming out of the keyboard, I remember just thinking like, oh, we can be like Faith No More, but like with breakdowns.
Hell yeah. That's a great idea. How many keyboards does Eric go through? Like, does he often smash his head into it, headbanging and shit like that on stage? Like, it seems like a risk.
I'd break his keyboards more than he does.
Yeah, usually it's actually the way they break normally is from sweat getting into the like through the keys from him headbanging. It's like the sweat flying out of his hair, and then eventually it like short circuits some of the keys. So usually he'll have two at any given time, where one is like half broken and one is like a quarter broken. And when one goes like full broke, then he like swaps in the new one.
Fair enough. Back to these. We've got a few more comments to go. Gateway J TV 1 year ago said, "My old band played with them at the High Amp in Huntington, 2005, 6-ish, and they got drunk and peed on the straight edge band's guitars that were acting like dicks. Lol, good times." Any truth to this?
I have no memory of it.
I'm sure it happened though. Wait, Huntington? What?
Just because of the spirit of the comment.
Wait, are we talking about Huntington, West Virginia?
Yes. Sorry.
No.
I mean,
Definitely not because they were straight edge.
No,
I don't remember that.
Tell you what
I never had a problem
that
with straight
night,
edge
but
people.
I could say that even more ridiculous things happened the following night with the same cast of characters. I mean, whether or not we peed on the straight edge band's guitars, we did pee into the non-straight edge band's guitarist's mouth on stage.
Christ.
And that's on video. I think that's on YouTube, actually.
You guys have a surprising amount of urination on video. I saw Nathan draining in the middle of an interview, pissing backstage.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, with Horse the Band, people just kind of stay in it, and time kind of no longer is perceived when you're listening to Horse the Band. So you kind of forget a lot of this stuff is, like, ancient now.
Well, that's what happens when you're not stuck into a specific genre that's of your time.
Yeah, exactly. Trey Hiddlesheim 2 years ago said, I love you guys. I first saw y'all in Mobile AL downtown at the Soul Kitchen when you opened and toured with Gwar. Keep kicking ass. You guys played with Gwar?
Yes.
How was that?
Mixed reviews. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that it was before any of them died. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That's always a plus.
I think at least two of them are gone now. So
yeah, Corey and Dave. That sucks.
Yeah. The tour's all right. Their tour manager was a piece of shit, but that's par for the course.
I think that guy owns a crab shack now.
The tour manager?
Yeah, I saw him. He owns like a little shack down on the beach and sells crabs.
In what beach? What?
It's like the end of Forrest Gump or some shit.
He sells crabs.
Wow, that's a strange pipeline from tour management to crab selling.
Fail or.
I mean, we all have different pipelines.
Yeah. Paul Martin 7 months ago said, playing Borderlands 3 and there was a gun called Cutsman and the description of the gun is part of this song. Do you guys know about that?
Yeah.
I did. That was pretty cool.
How did that happen?
Who's responsible for it, though?
That's awesome. Yeah, I played Borderlands 3. I don't think I came across it myself, but yeah, that's really cool.
It was a high point in my life when it happened, so whoever did that, I thank them.
Yeah, having a gun in Borderlands named after something you did, that's peaking right there. That's some good shit.
I didn't play it. I just had a bunch of people keep telling me about it, so it pressed my buttons.
Here's another strange sort of band comparison almost. Cheshire Cat 7 years ago said, I would love to see these guys live on tour with like Dillinger Escape Plan, Tomahawk, and Pucifer.
It's
we toured with Dillinger.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Dillinger's toured with Mr. Bungle.
That'd be a good one too. Yeah, Mr. Bungle.
So it's a reasonable lineup. If you can,
Pucifer though,
we'll happily get on board.
Just get Kevin Bacon involved.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
That's like the game you're playing, so he might as well open the gig.
Oh man, like spoken word or something.
No, I think he's
got a band. You never heard of the Bacon Brothers?
Kevin Bacon, the actor. I know that.
Yeah, he plays with his brothers in a band called the Bacon Brothers.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What do they play, like blues or something?
Something like that. I heard they're pretty good.
Oh, fair enough.
That'd be cool if they turned out to be sludge.
Yeah. I'll look them up, see if I can play them on the show or something. Eric Sandoval 2 years ago said, still waiting for the day Horse the Band gets a drummer that can actually play the part after Cutsman breakdown at the regular speed and not a billion times faster. This is something I've actually seen mentioned a bit with you guys playing songs fast, sometimes due to time restraints. How does this happen? Like,
we play them fast because we're amped.
yeah. There's
We're
like
excited.
Does one person like start sort of picking up pace and then everyone else is like, oh, we better speed up? Or is it just kind of like you just tear into it together? Or
we're a typhoon of passion.
We started slowing stuff down a little bit though with the in the last.
When Daniel joined, he added the professional time signature to the band. Before that, we were a typhoon of passion. Daniel will play unwaveringly at the right speed traditionally, unless he's like abnormally drunk.
Yeah, typhoon of passion. That's a great description.
That was my band in high school that won the talent show.
Typhoon. Oh, nice. Won.
Third place.
Alright, now we're on to some more questions off the wall, just in general, that I came up with. Do you believe in chaos magic?
What do you mean by that?
I'm not entirely sure.
I believe in magic.
Yeah, like traditionally, or like your own interpretation of magic?
My interpretation, maybe.
Yeah, that's always the best way to go. Interpretation is something I really enjoy all the time, but I often don't get it right. Horse the Band lyrically are definitely one of those bands where I always hear phrases and ideas that I really enjoy and latch onto and sort of associate my own meaning with, but I'm absolutely sure the true meanings are like completely different. And I've written like whole reviews of albums where I'm like, oh, this is what I think the lyrics are about, and then the band's like pointed me to a whole essay they wrote that describes it and stuff like that. Do you often get people misinterpreting what you're trying to say?
Just this one meth head guy on Instagram who doesn't leave me alone. He's got all these big ideas, but aside from him, not really.
Meth heads do have big ideas.
I think most people don't even attempt to put like a specific meaning on the lyrics. I don't know. It's also
they're interactive. They're meant for the person to stick to.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I mean, these songs definitely mean something different to me than to Nathan, I think, because like when I wrote the music, I sort of had an idea of what the music meant. And Nathan wrote lyrics, which may or may not have anything to do with that at all, but I sort of like superimposed my own meaning onto his words. So I think a lot of people probably do the same thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do as well, because there's some like the stuff you hear sometimes and it's like, damn, that's actually profound as shit. Like, and then like your vocal style just really allows the words to come through, I feel, compared to like a lot of other bands that are in similar genres, that especially like the more harsh mathcore where it's like I have no idea what they're saying half the time. So I really feel that like sort of connection to the words when I'm listening, and I really enjoy that. Do you guys have like favorite songs that you've made?
I tend to revisit them all at some point and get really excited about them again, as if like, and I want to be like, let's bring this one back.
Yeah.
But we usually just keep hammering out the ones that people are most familiar with. But I get obsessed with songs like, I really like Treasure Train, but then half the band's like, it's an awful meandering mess of hell. And I'm like, that's kind of why I like it though.
That song's pretty cool. Like it's got some weird parts that are pretty interesting. But then it also has some like kind of half-assed parts where it was kind of like, yeah, that one's a mixed bag. But it is fun to go back and listen to that one for sure. Same thing for like most of that whole album is like, there's a lot of really cool shit in there, even if we never actually want to play any of it live again.
Yeah, nah, that album is definitely solid. There's so many moments that are like, I can just imagine Nathan dancing to some of those parts when I'm listening to, like the eccentric dancing that you like to do on stage and such. It's very movement orientated a lot of the time.
It's all part of my master plan.
Oh yes, you get the rhythm going, and then you got phrases going over the rhythm. You're trying to program us. I knew it.
No, I wrote an essay and I gave it to Dave and Eric when I met them, and it involved moving in synchronicity to the music.
You mean dancing?
The manifesto.
Yeah, if any listeners aren't that familiar and don't know what I'm talking about, just go check out the Shapeshifter music video. There's some solid dancing in that one.
That is a good video.
With a member from Zuzu, correct? Doing guest vocals.
Yeah, but he's not in the video. He's got a stand-in mouth.
Yeah, the warm voice in the TV or whatever.
Yeah, they're originally going to use the actor's like face with Jamie's voice, and we all felt weird about it and had him like cut the guy's face out just so we could suggest it was Jamie, but without actually having it be him, so he doesn't have to be responsible for us.
Yeah, just creating deep fakes for your music videos.
But no, he was gracious enough to sing a part, but we weren't going to exactly call him back to like do more things. We were surprised he even agreed to do that.
What's the hardest aspect of playing live for Horse the Band in terms of getting the sound to be done justice? Like, do you have any like specifications when you're going into a show that you need, or?
I think
that's a loaded question.
Is it?
We've always had a hard time before we had our own sound person with anybody taking the keyboard seriously enough to like have it be audible in the crowd and on stage.
Yeah,
there's a good chance that we sounded awful every single time we played up until like 2 years ago.
I've seen some good Pro Shots shows. There was that one, I can't remember where it was or what it was. It might have been a while ago. But at one point you pretended that you were going to play a new song called Science and then played Cutsman.
China?
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, I just like, because there's so much going on with your music that I imagine it would be harder to do that live setup. Like, because you do also have like effects on the vocals and stuff like that. Like, do you just have like...
I do it raw. I don't usually use any effects live.
Yeah, I figured as much. And it works well because, yeah, you got killer live chops, definitely.
Yeah, I think like we probably like in our early career when we would play like all the DIY spaces without any PA, it was just like the sound from the amps. We probably sounded pretty good then because it was just like really loud and powerful. And like the keyboard amp itself was loud enough for us to control. And then we probably entered a phase of like 8 years where we sounded like shit all the time because it was like a different sound guy every night who was mixing us incorrectly.
Yeah, it'd be frustrating.
We have our own sound guy, and so we finally sound good again.
Yeah, that's good
weird. It's weird having a sound guy who you know right off the bat just hates you. Like he looks and he kind of has heard you, and he automatically doesn't want to be helpful at all.
Yeah. The only footage I've seen of you playing in Australia was on the Earth tour, which was like one of the rougher starts to the thing. But how's your other experiences in Australia been in the history of coming here?
Pretty luxurious.
Yeah, I mean, we've been there twice, right? The first one was Earth Tour, which was, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I thought it was good, but I mean, I was having a mental breakdown, but that was just a personal thing.
Yeah, and I was having this weird thing where every time I would drink a beer, I would get like really nauseous. So like I didn't drink anything for 3 whole days. And then and I had like really bad deep vein thrombosis from the flight. Like my feet just hurt really bad.
Yeah,
and I don't think it wasn't Australia so much as the 3 months of like unknowns loaded on our 4 minds that I think we were trying to adapt to bearing the burden of.
Yeah. But then the second time we came over for what's the name of that festival called again?
Soundwave?
Yeah, that was super fun.
That was amazing.
I mean, aside from like almost getting into a brawl with like 10 different bands that wanted to kill Eric, that was fucking awesome.
Why did they want to kill Eric?
He just, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to reopen old wounds.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll let bygones be bygones.
He definitely has those the facial expression of somebody that gets up to mischief.
Yeah, but it was amazing. We got to watch 9 Inch Nails every night.
Oh, hell yeah.
And minus the bear.
And
yeah, they're good. I haven't seen them live.
I enjoyed it. We got sitting on the stage, and it was a nice time.
Last time I went to Soundwave, I think I saw Real Big Fish and Faith No More. I haven't been there in a long time.
Wow.
Well, I won't keep you much longer. I think this is a good point to end. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. talking to me about this new EP.
No problem.
It's our pleasure. By the time you hear this, it will be impossible to get our vinyl unless you buy it on eBay for $1. But you will be able to listen to it on all digital platforms. But the vinyl's sold out as of this very moment. So
damn.
Tough luck. You know whose fault it is.
Yeah, failures.
You guys ever going to do cassette? Has that ever been a thing you've done?
A cassette?
Yeah, I collect cassettes.
Yeah, funny you should ask. Marty Dwyer recently asked me if he could put out our album on cassette. You don't know who that is, but Nathan does.
He recently asked you?
Yeah, like yesterday.
What an enigma. Why isn't he part of our collective? He's so special and unique.
I don't know.
Well, I can only encourage Horse being on cassette, because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys heaps for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. You two have a great day.
We're very happy, so thank you. We'll talk to you some other day.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Anytime. See ya.
Bye.
Dust my fingertips, I came into a dark room. The smell of whetstone many years, and there was a robotic retard, blank, empty stare. It was a handle, android man. That's outside that I am. Scissors on his head, scissors on his fucking head.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.